Today we're going to find the issue with the trailer brakes. Stay tuned. Hey guys, we're working on the trailer again. Today we have it up on all fours using a try method. So one way to test your brakes would be to unplug the trailer brake. There we go. And then go around with your tires. See if they're, so that brake is good. And that one is not. I just recently, there we go. So that one is not. We'll go to the other side. Okay, so this tire needs adjustment, which is good. And that one doesn't work. The reason for that, as I found, if you go underneath here, you'll see the cable is disconnected right there. And if you look carefully, you'll see a nice dent that resembles those shackles. Crazy, eh? So you saw the dent in the frame from the axle, the U-bolts on the axle to be precise. That's from somebody running over something at a high rate of speed, so the trailer didn't have enough time to adjust for it, the suspension anyways, so it was fully compressed. Its full span of adjustment was compressed, so that had to be something hard, like a pothole or something, or maybe a curb, or I don't know. But the design flaw isn't that. It's the trailer brakes, the wiring runs through where that axle is. There's no bump stops in this either. So I changed the wiring just slightly. I could have done a better job. What I would have done was run the brake wire on the outside of the frame where the axle wouldn't have a chance to sever the wires. And then I'd link it back up, and then the wire actually runs through to the other side where it hasn't hit and it hasn't severed them. So this was an easy fix. Enjoy the rest of the video to find out exactly how I did it. So you see the tire here with the wear marks. So this is under inflation, but also that's one of the reasons, like the other tires are perfect. This tire is the same. It's got a little bit of a wear, but it's the same age as this tire. But this one's worn more. Why is that, you wonder? Well, part of that is because of the trailer braking system only being half functional. So we're gonna fix that today. So disconnecting the emergency trailer brake for the breakaway helps decide two things. One, the battery, which is right there, works and is charged and holds the charge. And then the other thing shows that the brakes system, the emergency braking system, actually works. So this is ACES. Another way to test the brakes that are working from the towing vehicle itself is to have someone depress the brakes or cut a piece of wood to press the brake pedal so you get a reading, and that way you can check the trailer brakes. So what I've done here is I've completely removed this piece, which was connection for the two brakes on the one back axle, and this is a connection to this axle brake, and then it goes to the other side on here, which goes through the axle here. Lots of cable because I pulled out the other side, and I'm going to shave these off, and then right now I'm making a pigtail, so to speak, that will extend the other wires, and I'm using butt connectors that are heat shrink ready. And basically you cut it off that half inch, that quarter inch there, so let's say between the two, 3/8, and you can just shove it in and crimp it down, so it should look like this when you're done. So there we have the connector. You just slide it over, make sure it's big enough to house it, and then I'm going to show you next thing on me crimping it down. So there's the connector, good to go. Put a little tug on it, put some weight on it, tug it, make sure she's good. Tug test is done. Now I'm going to connect all these up, and I'll show you with the heat shrink. So guys, this is what I came up with. Cut it back a little bit, put the butt connectors on there, and I checked out the wiring, so I matched it up to the appropriate areas, but I don't really think that matters. And everything works. So I tested all that stuff, and I'm going to retest it later once I get this all buttoned up. But right now, we're going to heat shrink it. They look like, you can tell because it's sealed to the wire, which is awesome. It actually changes a little bit of color too, which is a good telltale sign. So they're both all sealed up. We're gonna add some slab and some electrical tape if I can find some. Okay, so we're looking at this upside down, but basically what I've done here, where the wire came down first, it came down right across here, and where the bed in the frame is. So these two deads from the U-bolts right here hit up here and severed the wire. So what I've done is, what I should have done is actually pass it through there before I made all the splice connections, but I didn't realize. So I'm just going to leave it as it is, but as you can see, I fastened it up there, it comes loops around, and then it fastens into the wire again. So it all holds into place. I put the armor on it, and then it just kind of sits down here now in all its glory. And I have it taped with electrical tape, double taped where the joints are, the butt joints are. So hopefully this will hold all together, and I've already tested brakes like I said, so they all work together. The generator I forgot to prime, so that's why I didn't start right away, but I just left it running because the battery seemed to be a bit low. Battery is weak, so that's another problem for another day. Good thing it's got pull start. The other thing I noticed since I've been on my back, there it is. It's got a nice little groove here, like you can actually feel it. So that tire has been hitting the frame for quite some time. That's not good, that edge there, not good. So you can actually feel the groove. So we have that, but we don't have anything on this side. So I think that's characteristic of a tandem axle trailer that's been heavily loaded in the rear. So I have the brakes enabled right now. Don't know if you can hear that, but there's a nice buzzing noise. So I can't move this. Yeah, can't move either of them. Good. So we have this side moved over so it's not going to get impacted if the suspension is fully, well, compressed. So that's moved out of the way. And then what I did over here is I moved it out of the way again as far as I could without having to rewire this thing, so that it doesn't have to impact this point here where you can see it's been hit a couple times. So somebody's going over something really, really heavy. I mean, somebody's going over something really, really fast. At least that's what it looks like anyways. So, side note, when you've got these kind of packages, keep them like this. Except cut a hole on the side here, and you can use them like a tic tac. Push it in, grab whatever you need, and then push it back close. Just like that. That way the package stays sealed. Whereas like you got a baggie, obviously you open it and close it right down. So that way everything works out. So I just remembered why I installed cellophane or shrink wrap all the way around the tire. It was to stop it from rubbing on the white walls. Black rubber on white walls doesn't really work so well. So I'm going to do that, but just wanted to remind you guys, always check your spare tires. Make make sure you have them and keep them in rotation if you can. So that's why I swapped in a new tire for the spare tire. Now to recap today's events. I lifted the trailer up off the ground so that the suspension was hanging down and the tires were not touching the ground. I did that by putting 2 axle stands at the back of the trailer on the rear frame, lifting it up, and then using the hitch as the third point of lift. Therefore, like a triangle, and it kept the trailer nice and steady. Now the next thing I did was started with the tow vehicle and worked my way back. So I knew that the brake controller worked. I knew that when I pressed the actual brake, it worked. So all signals were getting through, and part of that was having someone help me, but also showing you guys that you can cut a piece of wood to fit into that place as you go. Then I checked the emergency brake to make sure it worked, make sure the battery was charging, holding a charge, and all of that, and worked my way back looking for any breaks in the lines. I found it at the rear axle after testing all the brakes, seeing which ones, and they were in pairs. And then I found the break in the line, I found out why it was, fixed all of that, put it all back together, made my improvements so that the suspension does not shear the wire again. So thanks for watching, and I hope that this helped you, or could possibly help you in the future. If you have any questions that you want to know, if you want me to show you how you test the magnetic brakes for the electric brakes, the magnetic braking system for the electric brakes, I can make a separate video to show you that. If anything else, leave it in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.